Welcome to a 15-minute quick yoga flow routine. We're going to get started straight away in our child's pose, so bringing the hips back towards the heels, belly resting on the thighs, taking your knees as wide or as narrow as is comfortable, letting the head or the cheek come on the mat and the arms coming out in front of us. Taking a few deep breaths to settle in here, letting the waistband of your trousers expand on the inhale and your belly sink on the exhale. Inhale, let your gaze lift slightly, walking our hands over towards the left of the mat, coming into a stretch on the right side of the body, directing the inhales into the right rib cage. Inhale, walking back through to center. Exhale, taking the stretch over towards the right. Breathing into the left ribs, the left side body, noticing the sensations you're feeling. Inhale, walking your hands over towards the left again, planting the left hand beside your left hip or leg, stretching the right hand up and over. Lovely, taking that over to the other side, planting the right hand beside your right leg, opening out into the left side body, left arm coming up and over. Perfect. Exhaling, coming into our tabletop position. Move through cat-cow. Inhale, dropping the belly, letting the gaze lift up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest, really pushing into the hands. Taking that a few rounds on your own. Warming up through the spine before we come into the flow. We'll take some wrist stretches here, so bringing the fingertips so they're facing the outsides of the mat, rocking side to side, stretching out through the inner wrists, through the hands. Maybe you bring the fingertips to face your knees and rock back and forward, stretching out the wrists even more. You can stay here, or perhaps you can bring the backs of your hands to the mat, maybe having a bend in your elbows, taking some variations of wrist movement. We'll tuck the toes under and push the hips back up towards the ceiling, pushing into the hands, drawing the belly back towards the thighs, coming into our downward facing dog. We can pedal out the feet, bending one knee and straightening the other leg. Coming back to the breath, keeping it gentle and steady. Inhale, we're going to round forward into our plank position. Shoulders coming over wrists, heels drawing back and down. There's the option to drop the knees here if that's more comfortable. We will take a few breaths in our plank before coming down all the way, bending through the elbows, inhaling up into our cobra. Exhaling, tucking under the toes, pushing the hips back up to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, step forward, halfway lift. Coming out to your flat back. Exhale, forward fold, bringing the chest down towards the thighs, nose to knees. Taking a bend in your knees if you need to. One full breath here. And inhale, rolling up all the way to standing. Coming to our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Finding your alignment here. On our next inhale, we'll bring our arms up overhead, gaze lifting, Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold, hinging at the hips, belly to thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bringing the hands to the mat, we'll step the right foot back, coming into a low lunge, so dropping that right knee. Inhale, arms up overhead, pushing the hips down towards the mat. Exhale, planting the right hand beside your left foot. Inhale, the left arm up and over, coming to our twisted low lunge. Maybe the gaze lifts, drawing that left shoulder back. Exhale, planting the left hand to frame the left foot, coming back to our plank. Inhaling here. Exhaling, coming through chaturanga into your back bend on the inhale. Cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, coming back to downward facing dog, hips up to the ceiling. Inhale, gaze forward, step forward, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Inhale, coming up through standing, rolling our shoulders down and back into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Taking a moment here just to check in, notice how you're feeling. Holding steady. Inhale, arms up overhead, gaze lifting. Exhale, big swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping that left foot back, dropping the left knee. Inhale, arms up overhead, grounded low lunge. Exhale, dropping the left hand down beside the right foot. Right hand up and over, coming to our twisted low lunge. Maybe the gaze lifts. Exhale, frame that right foot, stepping back through to our plank. Shoulders over wrists, hips down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes, pushing the hips back up towards the sky, pushing the chest back towards the thighs. Inhale, lifting up through the right leg, bending out that knee, coming to our three-legged dog, maybe rolling out the ankle here. Inhale, bringing that knee towards the right elbow, dropping that right knee. We're going to move into our pigeon. Right knee behind the right wrist, right foot behind the left wrist. Staying lifted here, staying lifted through the chest, letting the hips sink down towards the earth, directing the breath to where you feel the sensation the most. Planting the hands, stepping back through to our three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, moving forward, knee to nose. Exhale, three-legged dog. And one more time, knee to nose. Exhale, three-legged dog. Coming back into your downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take that to the other side. Inhale, lifting the left leg up and over. Bending out the knee, stacking the hips. Maybe rolling out the ankle. And then bringing that knee behind the left elbow before planting it behind the left wrist and swinging the left ankle out to meet the right wrist, coming into our pigeon. Again, remaining tall here, using our hands as pillars of support. Bringing some height to our spine, chin lifted. Exhale, planting the hands firmly, coming back through to our three-legged dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. One more time, knee to nose. Rounding the spine. Exhale, three-legged dog. Letting that foot plant. Rounding forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, rolling over the toes, coming into your downward facing dog again. Exhale, walking the hands back towards your feet. We're going to sink our hips down towards our heels, maybe bringing the feet a bit wider, coming into our malasana, our yogi squat. Using our elbows to push our knees a bit wider, hands coming to the heart. And just coming back to our breath here, letting it become steady. And exhale, put the hands on the mat, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, walking the hands out into our plank, letting the hips sink. And take a breath here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, knees planted, sinking the hips back, coming into our child's pose. Again, you can have the knees as wide or as narrow as is comfortable. We'll just take a moment to rest here, noticing the breath, coming back to how it feels, noticing how the body is feeling. On our next inhale, we're going to lift our chest, our torso and our gaze, tucking under the toes, pushing the hips back up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, step forward, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folding forward, belly to thighs. Inhale, arms up overhead, gaze lifts. Hands to heart center on your exhale. Breathing here. Inhale, arms up overhead, gaze lift. Maybe your hands come a bit further behind. Exhale, hinging at the hips, nose to knees, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back through to plank. Breathing in here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, rolling over the toes, coming back to your downward facing dog. Pushing the hips up towards the sky, using your hands to push your chest back. We'll take a few breaths here. On your next exhale, drop your knees down to the mat. Let the hips sink back towards the heels. We're going to come into a restorative child's pose. Forehead resting on the mat. And let your arms rest either side of your legs. Letting the body sink heavy into the mat here. Just taking some rest. Notice how you're feeling, where the sensations are happening in your body, how the breath moves in this posture. And inhale, slowly come back up to a comfortable seat on our knees. We're going to come into our hero's pose. Hips on the heels, we'll just move through an easy kneeling twist. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, gazing behind. Inhaling low and deep into the belly. Exhale, coming back through to center. We'll take that to the other side. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you, gazing over that shoulder. Maybe you're up on your fingertips here if you're a bit too high up. Inhale, coming back through to center. Letting your hands rest, palm face up on your knees. Or perhaps having one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Bringing some gratitude for yourself for showing up to the mat today. And maybe thinking of one other thing that you're grateful for today. Whether it's something tiny. Thank you for practicing with me today.